everyone! Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you stopped by. In today's video, we're going to talk about something super important for anyone learning English daily life conversations. And don't worry, I'll keep it simple, natural, and very easy to follow. You don't need to know big words or perfect grammar to speak English in real life. What you really need is confidence and an understanding of how people speak in everyday situations. Let's start with something very basic, the kind of conversation that happens right after you wake up. Picture this. It's morning, you've just opened your eyes, and someone says, "Good morning. Did you sleep well?" And maybe you reply, "Yeah, not bad. Still a bit sleepy though." That's it. That's a real English conversation. It's not about long sentences or difficult vocabulary. It's just natural talk between two people. Let's imagine a more complete version. One person says, "Hey, it's already 7:30. And the other replies, "Really? Ugh. I need 5 more minutes." The first person might say, "Come on. You'll be late for work." And the response is, okay, I'm up." Now, that's a very normal exchange, something you'd hear every day in any English-speaking home. Next, we move to the kitchen. Maybe it's time for breakfast. You'll hear something like, "What do you want for breakfast?" And the reply might be, maybe just toast and coffee." The other person might ask, "No eggs today?" And you might say, "Nah, I'm not that hungry." Again, very casual, very real, and very easy to understand. Now let's fast forward a bit. You're ready and you're about to leave the house. Maybe you're going to work or school or running errands. Someone might say, "Did you bring your umbrella?" And you might ask, "No, why?" And the answer is, "It looks like it might rain." Then you say, "Oh, I'll grab it just in case." Or maybe you're waiting for a bus and say, "The bus is taking forever," and your friend says, "I know, we should have left earlier." These are the small, daily moments where real English happens. Alright, now let's imagine you're at work. How do people usually talk in an office? It's not always formal or serious. In fact, it's mostly friendly and light. You might walk in and say, "Morning. How's it going?" And your coworker replies, "Hey, pretty good, you?" Then you say, "Can't complain." "Ready for the meeting?" And they say, "Almost. Just finishing up the slides." That's how coworkers talk, quick, simple, to the point. Sometimes you need help. Maybe you say, "Hey, can you help me with this report?" And your colleague says, "Sure. What do you need?" You say, "Just need a second pair of eyes," and they say, "No problem." Let's take a look. These are the real phrases that you can use in your workplace. Nothing too formal, just friendly cooperation. Now let's go shopping, maybe at a grocery store. You're walking down the aisle with a friend or family member, and someone says, "Do we need milk?" The other person says, "Yeah, and maybe some eggs too." Then you might say, "All right. What about bread?" And they reply, "We still have some." Or if you're alone and can't find something, you might ask an employee, "Hi, where can I find the cereal?" And they reply, "Aisle 4, next to the snacks." You say, "Thanks," and that's it. Again, short, useful, everyday talk. Let's step into a cafe or a restaurant now. You walk up to the counter and say, "Hi, can I get a medium latte, please?" The barista asks, "For here or to go?" You answer, "To go, please." Then they say, "Anything else?" And you reply, "No, that's it. Thanks." These types of conversations are great because they follow a clear pattern and they happen the same way almost every time. By the way, if you're enjoying this kind of content, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future videos like this. I post regularly to help you speak English confidently and naturally, so don't miss out. Now, let's move on to a phone call. What does that sound like in English? Well, it's usually pretty casual. One person says, "Hey, what's up?" and the other says, "Not much. Just chilling." You. Then maybe they ask, "Want to hang out later?" and the response is, "Sure." What time? You might say, maybe around 5, and they say, "Cool. See you then." It's fast, it's light, and it's very typical of how friends talk. Let's talk about something else you might do in your day, chatting with friends or neighbors. You bump into someone and say, "Hey, long time no see," and they reply, "I know. How have you been?" You say, "Pretty good. Just been busy with work." They respond, "Yeah, same here. Life's been crazy lately." These small conversations are not deep or difficult. They're just about connecting and being friendly. Let's imagine you're meeting someone for the first time. You might start with, "Hi, I'm your name. Nice to meet you," and they say, "Nice to meet you too." You ask, "So, what do you do?" and they say, "I work in marketing. What about you?" You respond, "I'm a student right now, studying computer science." Just like that, a simple and natural conversation is born. Now, here's something important: asking for directions. This is really useful when you're traveling or in a new place. You might ask, "Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the train station?" And someone says, "Sure. Just go straight, then turn left at the traffic light. It'll be on your right." You say, "Thanks a lot," and they reply, "No problem. Have a good day." Let's imagine you're at a hotel. You walk up to the front desk and say, "Hi, I have a reservation under Haley." The staff member says, "Welcome. Can I see your ID and credit card, please?" You say, "Sure, here you go." They check and say, "All right, your room is ready. Here's your key. Enjoy your stay," and you say, "Thanks." Again, clear, polite, and easy English. Another very common situation is visiting a doctor. You might say, "Hi, I have an appointment at 3 p.m. and the receptionist says, 'Okay, please take a seat. The doctor will be with you shortly.'" When you see the doctor, they ask, "What seems to be the problem today?" And you say, "I've been having a sore throat for a few days." The doctor might say, "Let me take a look," and after checking, looks like a mild infection. "I'll give you something for it." And you say, "Thank you, doctor." That's a very normal and respectful way to talk in a medical setting. Let's keep going with more everyday English situations. Imagine you're at a restaurant now, but instead of a quick coffee, you're sitting down for a full meal. A waiter comes over and says, "Hi there, can I get you started with something to drink?" You reply, "Yes, I'll have a lemonade, please." Then maybe they ask, "Are you ready to order, or do you need a few more minutes?" You say, "We're ready. I'll have the grilled chicken and my friend will take the pasta." That's it. You don't have to say anything too complicated. Just speak naturally, and it will go smoothly. Now let's say you've finished your meal. The waiter comes back and says, "How was everything?" And you say, "It was great, thank you." Then you ask, "Can we get the check, please?" And the waiter replies, "Sure, I'll bring it right over." These are phrases you'll use over and over again at restaurants, cafes, diners, wherever you eat. Let's move on to transportation. Maybe you're taking a taxi or using a ride-sharing app. When the car arrives, you say, "Hi, are you here for Sarah?" And the driver says, "Yes, hop in." Once inside, you might say, "Can you take me to 42nd Street and Broadway?" And the driver replies, "Sure. Should take about 20 minutes. During the ride, you don't need to say much. Maybe just "Thanks" when you get out or "Have a nice day." That's enough. Simple and polite. Now let's practice a very common situation, small talk with strangers or acquaintances. Maybe you're at a party or in a waiting room, and someone says, "Nice weather today, huh?" And you reply, "Yeah, finally some sun." Then they ask, "Do you live around here?" And you say, "Yeah, just a few blocks away. What about you?" This is called small talk, short conversations to be polite and friendly. It's not about deep topics, just light, social interaction. Let's talk about visiting someone's home. You arrive at your friend's place, and they say, "Hey, come on in," and you say, "Thanks. Nice place you've got here." Then maybe they ask, "Want something to drink?" And you reply, "Water would be great, thanks." They might ask, "How was your day?" And you answer, "Busy, but not too bad. Glad to finally relax." See? Just like that, you're having a natural English conversation in a home setting. Now let's go shopping for clothes. You walk into a store and an assistant says, "Hi there, can I help you find anything?" And you say, "Just looking, thanks." Then maybe you find something and ask, "Do you have this in a medium?" And they say, "Let me check." "Yes, we do." You try it on and say, "Does this look okay?" Maybe a friend replies, "Yeah, it fits you really well." Then you go to pay and say, "Can I pay with card?" And the cashier says, "Of course. Insert your card when you're ready." That's a very real shopping experience in English. Now let's talk about showing interest and reacting in conversations. If someone tells you good news, like, "I got the job," you can say, "Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations." Or if they say something sad, like, "My dog's not doing well," you can respond with, "Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that." These reactions make your English more natural and connected to the person you're talking to. Here's something else you'll hear in real conversations, expressions and idioms. Things like, "I'm starving," which just means I'm very hungry. Or, "Let's call it a day," which means let's stop working for now. These small phrases make your speech sound more like a native speaker. But don't worry, you don't have to learn them all at once. Just one at a time. Let's also look at how people give directions in a building or on the street. Maybe you ask, "Excuse me, where's the bathroom?" And someone says, "It's down the hall, first door on your right." Or maybe you ask, "How do I get to the subway from here?" And they say, "Go straight, take a left at the corner, and it's right there." These types of phrases help you get around easily when you're in a new place. Now imagine you're in an emergency or need help. You might say, "Excuse me, I think I lost my phone," and someone might say, "Where did you last see it?" Or maybe you say, "Can you call my number?" And they say, "Sure, let me try." If you ever need urgent help, you can say, "Please call an ambulance," or "I need help right away." These are important phrases to know, just in case. And finally, let's talk about ending conversations politely. Maybe you're at a party and want to leave. You say, "All right, I should get going. It was really nice seeing you," and they reply, "Yeah, let's catch up again soon." Or maybe on the phone you say, "Okay, I'll talk to you later," and they say, "Sounds good." So there you have it, a complete guide to real, natural, and simple daily life conversations in English. Whether you're at home, at work, out shopping, making plans, or just chatting with someone new, these phrases will help you feel more confident and comfortable when speaking English. Remember, it's not about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking clearly, naturally, and with confidence. Use short sentences. Listen carefully. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who's learning English, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more easy English lessons just like this one. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep speaking English every day. Take care and bye for now.